Mario is still as popular as he was 30 years ago. This is partly because Nintendo managed to come up with unique gameplay ideas for each Mario game. Unique gameplay ideas which I wish that were in Mario Maker. I recently replayed all 12 main 2D Mario games for another project, and there was something in every game that made me stop and think, wow. How I wish this was in Mario Maker. This video is going to be exactly this, a wish list for a Mario Maker sequel. We are going to go through all 2D Mario games chronologically, and we'll take a look at one thing in each of these games that would make an awesome addition to Mario Maker. So are you ready? Let's do this! The first ever 2D Mario platformer was Super Mario Bros. On the NES. The game is still the 5th best-selling video game of all times, and it can be argued that Super Mario Bros. Was the most important video game ever made. Yet this game is the only game I had trouble finding something that really needs to be added to Mario Maker, for a very simple reason. Super Mario Bros. Is a game that does a lot with very little, and almost all the gameplay elements it features are in Mario Maker. There's almost nothing missing. It's really surprising how well the first game already established today's series. The first game already features Goombas and Koopas and Buzzy Beetles, Bullet Blasters, Lava Bubbles, Bowser, Lakitus, Cheep Cheeps, and a lot of the other well-known threats of the Mario universe. The game even already is infested with the single big mistake of the series. It's a brilliant game, and almost all of it made it into Mario Maker, with one small exception: the nighttime theme. That's a theme missing in Mario Maker. Mario Maker is actually already a little bit low on different settings for its stages, and a dark but neutral overworld theme, like the nighttime theme of the first game, would definitely help to keep things a little bit varied. So let's go with the nighttime theme here. Mario's next big adventure is Lost Levels. Lost Levels is a brutal game. It's a game which I first hated, but now grew to like. It's a game which I may love, but it's also a game which hates me. Some of the most controversial game design decisions of all Mario games are hidden in this really tough game. There are dozens of mushrooms that will drop into an abyss before you get a chance to pick them up. It started the trend of mid-air bloopers, and there is a warp pipe hidden behind the flagpole of a stage that doesn't take you any further but warps you back to the beginning of the game. Lost Levels also features the feature I want to see the least in a Mario Maker sequel: poisonous killer mushrooms. In short, the game features many really evil things, but there are also some more lightweighted things hidden in this game that would make a great addition to Mario Maker. For example, the game features the most mighty spring in all of Spring's history, and my personal favorite, the wind. A wind effect would be a great addition to Mario Maker. It would be amazing to be able to push Mario around using one of nature's forces, and would be even cooler if wind not only affected Mario, but enemies and objects as well. A placeable wind effect that interacts with many different items is something I really want in a Mario Maker sequel, maybe in the form of a placeable fan. The next big Mario title was Super Mario Bros. 2. This Mario game is the only Mario game in this list of Mario games that isn't actually a Mario game. Super Mario Bros. 2 is actually a remake of a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic. The reason this game is even a Mario game is because it turned out that Lost Levels with its killer mushrooms and Instagame over secrets wasn't the best fit for the US market. So Nintendo decided to remake Doki Doki Panic with Mario characters for the US market. A decision that kind of shows how chaotic the early years in the console market were. Nonetheless, Super Mario Bros. Definitely feels like a main Mario game. A lot of the series staples actually started in this game. It was the first game that allowed us to play as one of 4 different characters, which, by the way, would be an awesome addition to Mario Maker. It was also one of the first platforming games with a huge emphasis on verticality, and vertical levels are something that is really missing in Mario Maker. The game's graphic and gameplay style itself is missing from Mario Maker, which is a real shame in my opinion, since the slightly different platforming, with a huge emphasis on picking up stuff, would be a great way to add variety to Mario Maker, especially for puzzle levels. But to be honest, forget all of these huge additions to Mario Maker. Call this favoritism, I don't care. Screw all those enormous additions, just please Nintendo. Don't do a sequel without Shy Guys. I really want those Super Mario Bros. 2 Shy Guys to be in Mario Maker. Super Mario Bros. 3 is next, and this game is timeless. There are very few NES games that aged so gracefully as Super Mario Bros. 3 did. This Mario game is the first one that features tons and tons of auto-scrolling stages. It's the first one to have Koopa Link bosses, the first one with a world map, and many more staples of the series originated in this game. There are tons of awesome things in this game that would really improve Mario Maker. There are tons of interesting enemies, like the Angry Sun or Boomerang Bros. But what makes Super Mario Bros. 3 really stand out in this list of awesome games is that it is the first Mario game with tons of different power-ups. The hammer suit appeared for the first time in this game, and so did the Goomba shoe, the frog suit and the really cool Tanuki suit. If there is one thing Mario Maker could learn from this game, then it's to include more power-ups. A frog suit or a hammer suit would be awesome additions to Mario Maker, and they're probably on the easier side of things to include. Chronologically, the next Mario game is the first one in this list that didn't release on the NES. It's Super Mario Land for the Game Boy. This Mario game is the first one I remember playing, and it's a really interesting entry in the series. Koopas do not drop shells here when defeated, but instead go boom! Mario doesn't make his way through green grasslands and dangerous caves, but instead a UFO drops him into weird places filled with an Egyptian or Moas theme. One of the most interesting changes in the game was the change of the Fire Flower to a Fire Flower Bubble Power power-up. Mario's fireballs decide to bounce off of walls in this game, which could be an amazing addition to a game like Mario Maker. But if there is one thing Super Mario Land is known for, and that I wish was in Mario Maker, then it's the crazy vehicle shoot-em-up parts. I'd love to be able to create shoot-em-up levels in Mario Maker with some of these crazy vehicles. Submarines from Mario Maker. The famous Super Mario World is next. Mario's first adventure on the SNES is widely considered to be a masterpiece of game design and creativity. There are so many great new additions to this Mario game that it is really hard to pick only one. I'd love to have grids to climb on in Mario Maker, but then there are those football guys whose name I always forget that would make an awesome addition too. The whole game is filled with so many different enemies and ideas which honestly all would really enhance Mario Maker. It's almost impossible to decide for only one. So instead of picking one of all these equally cool additions, let's cheat here a little bit. Let's talk about the one thing I really wish Mario Maker could have besides all the things from different Mario games. 2 state blocks. Okay, so what do I mean by 2 state blocks? Remember these really cool P-switch houses in Super Mario World, where Mario triggered a P-switch and all previously invisible blocks of this color in all levels changed their state and became solid? That's something Mario Maker desperately needs. Just some blocks with a solid and a non-solid state, and another block that changes their behavior whenever it's triggered. Such a small addition is all that's missing to build more complex computer contraptions in Mario Maker. Such a block could be used to create clocks, or to store information, or to create timers, or crazy puzzles, really cool platforming challenges, or some small calculations. It's incredible how much a single 2-state block could add to Mario Maker, and since Super Mario World is well known for its P-switch houses, which basically do exactly this, this is what Super Mario World should add to a Mario Maker sequel. And now it's time to talk about Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. The 2 Game Boy Marios are often forgotten, and in my opinion that's a real pity, because Super Mario Land 2 is a criminally underrated game. It's one of my all-time favorites, and it's one of the Mario games that features some of the coolest enemies and gameplay twists out of all Mario games. There are so many cool ideas in this game that would enhance Mario Maker, it's mind-boggling. But if there is one single thing I want the Mario Maker sequel to learn from this game, then it's definitely this enemy. No, I'm kidding. If there is one thing Land 2 does really well, then it is to leave the standard Mario setting a little bit and to experiment with some new settings. In 6 golden coins, Mario doesn't platform through wood, a mushroom hill, a cave and a snowy land, like he always does, but here he has to make his way through an actual scary Halloween village, a gigantic robotic Mario, a world where everything but Mario is gigantic, a huge tree, and for a turtle that swallows our plumber. 6 golden coins really experimented with its settings, and this is something I love the 2D series and Mario Maker to do more, to be a little bit more brave with the different settings and themes. Anyway, 6 golden coins is a really good Mario game, especially because it is unpredictable. And then, over a decade passed without a new 2D Mario game. When Nintendo finally delivered, they struck gold. New Super Mario Bros. For the DS is one of the best-selling video games of all time. The game is a joy to play and filled with many crazy new ideas. It's the first Mario game to feature a gigantic and a mini mushroom. It features crazy enemies like gigantic wigglers or eels and interesting bosses like an enormous Goomba. And this is exactly what I want for Mario Maker. Gigantic and mini mushrooms. But less to make Mario gigantic or mini, but to add more variation to the enemies that already exist in the game. It would be so amazing if it was possible to create a mini version of a Goomba by dragging a mini mushroom onto it, or to create a gigantic and dangerous Mega Wiggler by feeding it a gigantic mushroom. Such a feature would add a lot of variety to all the already existing Mario Maker items, and it's something that's really high up on my personal wish list. New Super Mario Bros. Wii was Nintendo's next 2D Mario game, and the game was equally successful as the DS game. The game introduced the Ice Flower, which in my opinion is the probably best designed Mario power-up of them all and would make for an awesome addition, but it also introduced something else, something I always took for granted in Mario games. But actually only really appears as a feature in this game, something that I considered to be such a staple in Mario games that I remember being quite disappointed when I opened Mario Maker for the first time and realized they didn't add this. The toad carrying minigame. No, I'm kidding. Invisible walls. New Super Mario Bros. Wii is the first Mario game to really make heavy use of invisible walls. I'm sure I missed something in the earlier games and that some game used them somewhere, but the Wii game is the first one where invisible walls are everywhere, and invisible walls are awesome. They really add something to the levels and make the exploration in the Wii game the most fun of all games in the series so far. Invisible walls are an addition I really want for Mario Maker. They would be useful for exploration levels, for puzzle levels, and most of all, for crazy contraption levels, to hide contraptions. Following Nintendo's long-term marketing strategy to cause confusion about the second installment in the Super Mario Bros. Series, the third New Super Mario Bros. Game is called New Super Mario Bros. 2. The third installment is all about collecting coins. It's a really short game, but the content it actually offers is a blast. There are many really cool gameplay additions in this game, which I'd love to see more of. For some weird reason, I really like the Bowser statues. There are obviously some cool coin shenanigans that would be awesome for user-generated content, but there is also one small gameplay twist, which I love. It's those chat engines in the World 6 castle. These chat engines are chat engines with a twist. Mario needs to jump towards them in order to make them stop. That's a really small twist on an established game mechanic that manages to completely change how to play with these things. It's doing a lot with a little, and it made me wish that there was a simple on-off switch contraption in Mario Maker that could be put onto different items, forcing Mario to freeze fire bars midway by jumping towards them, or to have an option to activate or deactivate bullet blasters or cannons could be really cool. While this may sound like a really small addition, I really think that such a small gameplay tweak to existing things could lead to a lot more diverse stages. Okay, so now only the Wii U game is left. The Wii U entry of the New Super Mario Bros. Series is probably the one Mario game that tried to play it a little bit too safe. While I really like the game on its own, it's undeniable that Nintendo recycled ideas from the previous 3 games here one time too often. Nonetheless, this game does one thing better than all the previous Mario games. It really nails the different Koopaling encounters and gives each Koopaling boss a unique skill set. More boss options is something Mario Maker desperately needs, and the Wii U's Koopaling boss fights would be a great place to start for more interesting boss enemies. So with that we're almost done. There's only one last game left that arguably belongs into this list, and this is Thunder! New Super Luigi Bros. U. The ideas in Luigi's game are almost identical to the ones of Mario's version of the game, and the only thing different is something that really should have been in Mario Maker since its release. The option to play as Luigi, no matter what Nintendo does, if they decide to add everything on this list or if they go into a completely different direction. A Mario Maker sequel without Luigi as second playable character would be silly. With that being said, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and maybe you feel especially like arguing if Super Mario World 2 shouldn't have been mentioned in this list since it's technically kind of a Mario game, but kind of isn't as well, and want to hit the subscribe button as well. I hope that you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye!